The tourism sector remains challenged by the low international travel demand triggered by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, explained Tourism Minister Lindsay Grant. Speaking at the Prime Minister's press conference on Thursday, Minister Grant disclosed that between December 14, 2020 and January 10th, there were 2,318 passengers arriving on St. Kitts, of which 1,980 were visitors. He also said that only one-third of the hotel room stock is available to visitors.
If I can answer the question with regard to the rate of arrival since the opening, I must have to put it in proper context. And the context would be that our room stock is normally and traditionally at the moment some 1,800 rooms. Post-COVID, we only have 602 rooms available, hotel rooms, for vacationing in place, which means that a third of the room stock now is only available. And this does not include the quarantine sites. It includes the sites of the St. Kitts Marriott Vacation Club, the Royal St. Kitts, Park Hyatt, and the St. Kitts Marriott. And in Nevis, we're looking at the Four Seasons Hotel, the Golden Rock, and Paradise Beach Villas. And these are for vacation in place. One of the challenges we have, of course, is that the normal visitor into St. Kitts and Nevis traditionally stays between 5 and 6 days. And so there is a challenge because of the 14-day quarantine period. But we all know that.
The minister also gave an update on the frequency of airlift to St. Kitts and Nevis, disclosing the cancellation of British Airways from Gatwick for the remainder of the winter season.
American Airlines Flight 318 comes out of Miami into St. Kitts on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We have British Airways that comes out of Gatwick on a Saturday. However, I should announce here that in terms of British Airways coming out of Gatwick, as we know we are tagged with Antigua, so our drop into St. Kitts is as a consequence of the flight British Airways going into Antigua and then dropping in St. Kitts and beyond. All tag destinations from now on, and the tag destinations include St. Kitts, Grenada, Turks and Caicos. We have just been informed by British Airways just yesterday, the network planning, that these services have been cancelled for the rest of the winter schedule until March 2021. So we won't have British Airways coming out of Gatwick until March 2021, since those have been cancelled. Delta is still continuing its weekly service from Atlanta, and that's scheduled to resume on March the 6th until November of 2021. They did not resume in January the 9th as we had scheduled them to because of the low demand for the destination during that period. We have Delta on Saturdays out of New York, JFK, and it's scheduled to begin again April the 3rd to November the 13th. Again, they did not resume January 9th, again because of the low demand at that time. Liat, as it stands, is scheduled 2 flights on Saturdays out of Barbados and Antigua. We have been just advised by Liat also that they are now changing that schedule, and they will now have daily service into St. Kitts up to March the 31st. So Liat has now rescheduled and changed their service, and they will now have daily service into St. Kitts up to March the 31st. Seabourn and Silver Airways, which comes out of Puerto Rico, they are there twice weekly on a Thursday and a Saturday from San Juan up until February the 6th. And United Airways out of Newark, New Jersey will be scheduled until February the 6th, 2021.
The borders to international travel reopened on November 30th, 2020, after being closed for about 8 months in a bid to prevent importing coronavirus cases into the country. At that time, the Federation was COVID-free, only having 23 cases prior, of which all were recovered. Since the borders have reopened, there have been 11 positive cases, all of which were imported and were in quarantine until their recovery. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.